minutes.
We didn't, I don't have an agenda in front of me, there's nothing, you got?
There's nothing on the agenda.
Yeah, there's just whatever's right there.
Okay. All right. I talked to Glenn last week. He said, we probably need to meet tonight. Just to let y'all guys know what's going on. I know I've been with Glenn all week. Keeping up with Bobby calling, but I didn't know the rest of them had to talk to him or not. Primarily, I wanted to talk to you about the water system, what we're going through with the generators, the pumps, in the near future, what we're going to need to plan on doing down the road. I'm sure Bob's spending money from the water side, sewer side, David, to on the police side, everything. Everybody learned something now, but Keith's here. Keith's one of the first ones I talked to when I first went out Sunday morning with Glenn. First day I was on the phone with Keith and Glenn. Had to make a rescue up the river, little river, with the fire squad to go rescue somebody. He's actually our city attorney, and some of his neighbors were flooded up on the second floor. Walked out of my house. I had an old pair of waders I forgot I had, and water comes to my waist. No doubt it's nothing I've ever seen, and I've talked to people 30, 40 years have lived here, they've ever seen flooding like this. I've had questions for Glenn from here, what can we do in the future? He said, Todd, you can't do that, or maybe this is something we can do, and that's discussions we're going to have at a later date. I want to commend all the city crews. I mean, it's all Bert. Sunday morning at the shop was flooded with 3 to 4 feet of water. We lost a lot of equipment. I don't know precisely what. I know we lost some police cars. I know we lost trucks. Some garbage trucks.
Brand new one?
Nope. I don't think we lost. That one's okay, isn't it, Bert?
Right now it is.
Right now. What do you call it? Evac truck? What's the name of the truck?
Sir?
The Vector truck.
Vector truck. We
Yeah.
lost it, and we really missed it. We borrowed one from Dennisville, from what I understood, for one day. So a lot of stuff's being worked on now. Beside the point, though, that even regardless of that, is that the city got their stuff done. Bert, first thing he said was, I don't even know where to begin. That's the first thing I remember you saying. And I can't blame, I wouldn't know where to begin either. I didn't know what equipment he had to go out. On the phone with David, the biggest problems we had initially was people in the roads. It took a lot of their officers' time going out and doing rescues for people stuck in the water out on their cars, picking them off the hood of the car. The only way we communicated was, we would say, Todd, post this on your Facebook page, people get off the road. So everything was done on social media. But it worked. A lot of it worked. So logistics and communication was a problem, but it worked out. It worked out. The fire department, EMS guys were busy from that night it started on. Once that subsided down, they went into how do we make the people feel a little more normal? So they just started cooking. Whatever needed to be done, they did. Same way with Bert's crew. The garbage pickup was suspended only a couple days, and it's back on rotation. I cannot recall a tree in the road that I saw. Right after the storm, I saw 1 or 2. That afternoon, I didn't see any. I know they were there, but I didn't see them. And I know I was out in Newtown one day, and this was 2 or 3 days after, and I saw 12, 13 guys sitting there doing it on a big tree, just getting it off the road, getting it off the side of the road, putting it down. The debris removal has been in full blast. Even this past Saturday, we asked them to open the landfill all day. We're going to close it half a day. We requested they stay open to 4 at least. They did. All day, the gentlemen worked. You even got the park clean already. And those weren't 2 small trees down at the park. They were large. So just when you think you can't think more of your city employees and the departments and the staff, they step up more than what you thought they could. And you shouldn't be surprised about it. I mean, it's been everybody, Janet, her department, the fire department, the EMS, water, sewer, the police department, you name it. Benny's, I'm proud of it. It's a great time. It was a horrible situation, but
Crowd that I saw were just smiling. I mean, they were glad to be doing it. There was joy. It's just good.
Main Street, I go up now Main Street every day. I stopped on a number of them. Just when we about to start on Main Street, revitalize Main Street. One of our challenges is the challenges to businesses on Main Street to survive now. I can't think of one store that didn't get flooded there. So it's definitely a punch in the gut to Main Street, but they'll survive. And we will too. We'll pick that up on the revitalization. It's going to obviously be pushed back. All kind of things are going to come down the road we're going to have to address. Not just from the city standpoint, but a city, a county standpoint, from a cultural standpoint. I'll give you examples. The theater, flood. We're going to have to address that with the county, in partnership with somebody. There's all kind of challenges that lay ahead. Is the bottom line. But without every bad situation, something good comes from it, and I'm not going to think this is any different. We will rise again, and they've been very proud of them so far. And back to normal has already begun. Not for a lot of people, but we talked about debris removal. Glenn, I think some people are confused that we pick up big limbs and stuff. And this is the reason for the meeting tonight, to help y'all answer those questions.
Right now, we have since, when did you start picking up debris?
Sunday.
Sunday of last week.
Yeah.
All right. So over a week's time, we have picked up 160 tons.
216.
216 tons of debris. Debris being tree limbs, things of that nature. We're not picking up any furniture. One that I'll use is South First Avenue. If you've been down South First Avenue past our shop, those houses got flooded. All those people have brought their furniture out to the road, and I guess they want to get rid of it. We're not messing with it at this point in time until we know that they have taken pictures of it, they being the owners of this property, of the personal property, taking pictures and writing down what they've lost or what they think they lost. So in case FEMA comes in, they can be reimbursed. But we're picking up all the limbs and trunks as quickly as possible. The state will send in a crew like they did at the last winter storm. They'll start cleaning up their right-of-ways, and if you realize or know, mostly all streets in the city of Dillon are state-owned and not city-owned. So they're going to come in too, but we don't know exactly when. So we're hauling and picking up debris as we can. And the plan right now is probably to work 6 days a week until we can get that taken care of. Because we're also allowing people who have trees that fall in their yard, bring it to us, we want to get rid of it. Because it's hard to determine what fell in their yard or what fell on the right-of-way or what was on the right-of-way that fell in their yard and vice versa. But we're working on that from a wastewater standpoint. Hard hitting back in yet. We're in pretty good shape right now. Everything's operational. But each department, we had some major issues. And tonight we're going to throw out some of these issues that we had because we're going to have to spend some money. We have insurance on stuff, but insurance don't cover everything. None of us, I think, has flood insurance. The city of Dillon didn't have flood insurance. But the city shop took 3 feet of water inside of it. The compound itself, the yard itself, got up to as high as 66 inches in places. We had vehicles underwater. We had police cars that were parked there that was underwater and the lights were coming on because they were getting shorted out. Our insurance people have come, or have they not come yet?
They're coming in
Okay.
tomorrow into Wednesday. They did some come Friday, but they'll be back here probably Wednesday.
But they were looking at it. We have been declared eligible for state funds through FEMA through what is known as public assistance. Now, public assistance is for government entities. It doesn't deal for your house if you need anything, or yours or mine, because mine needs it bad as anybody, because we haven't gotten the individual assistance. But we are been declared, and we will receive public assistance. I filled out paperwork Saturday that we turned in, or Friday. Just based on what we have, we think we have at least $1.5 million worth of damage. And that's just an estimate. It could be a whole lot more. And I've asked each one of them, and I'll start with Bert. Bert has a list mile long of equipment damages. And it's imported equipment. But right now, we're using duct tape and baling wire because of the water damage to our equipment. So Bert, if you'll just take a few moments just highlighting what is operational, what's been damaged, and what trouble we're having with equipment that we have.
Okay. I misspoke a while ago. We didn't start picking up debris on Sunday. We had to start clearing the streets on Sunday, and we did that Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And then Glenn allowed us to get the truck out to start picking up. So that debris, that 216 tons, got picked up in 3 days. So that's how hard the guys worked. And what we did, we moved that stuff with flatbed trucks, a backhoe, and a bobcat. We had to rent a bobcat. We got 4 bobcats that the city owns. All 4 of them were completely flooded. They're ruined. The electronics, the water was over to the roof of the bobcats. I mean, it's
With that being said, when we got a catastrophic event, I don't think we guys want to come. Is there any way to move any of the equipment to a higher ground?
Oh, absolutely.
That is a future plan, but, you know.
We've never
Yeah,
had
no idea. I
I
understand they have no idea. I'm just saying.
We've already talked about that.
It's going to the wellness.
We got high ground already
That's the highest point
on the
of
plan.
wellness center.
Well, said the high point.
That's where all our equipment is going in the future.
Oh, I know. We didn't know you did expect this. I understand that. I just want to know if we have higher ground.
As of right now, that is our plan.
So really the way we're hauling right now, we're hauling with a little bit of equipment that we have. We got 2 knuckle boom loaders. One of them's running, one of them's damaged. I don't know when it'll be fixed. It's got to be hauled away from here to Columbia. I mean, that's one thing we got. Well, it's actually the newest one. It's a 2009. My oldest one's a 2003. It's 14 years old. So that's something we need to talk about here tonight, and we'll get to that hopefully in a little bit.
What did we pay for that? Do you recall?
Well, the new one's about $140,000. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm going to ask you to buy one tonight. Because we on rotation, we should be to replace our oldest one. It's 14 years old. Now's a great time to buy a new one, invest in to pick up what we got. We got leaf season getting ready to come on top of us, where the leaves are going to be piled up on top of what we got now. If we don't get something in here to help us, we'll never catch up. I mean, that's just...
Can you rent those anywhere in the meantime?
I've called everywhere I can. I found a guy that's got one that we can buy. Nobody's got anything to rent like that. I mean, it's just
And with that being
it's a
said,
specialized piece of equipment.
do we have the resources to really get the place cleaned up in a matter of time that we need, or do we need to contract out and ask somebody to come in and help us?
No, we'll get it. If we
think
get stuff to
If
work
we
with,
have our equipment working, we got the resources.
we'll get stuff to work with. What we're doing now, so y'all know, we're going around, starting on one side, working our way across. We're picking up the biggest stuff out of the piles, the biggest logs and all that, loading them on the trucks, hauling that off. That way, when we get set up, we can come back in with our boom trucks and pick up the piles. You move a lot quicker. Those trucks can't pick up big logs and all that. They're not designed to do that. But that's what we're doing now. We worked across town a good bit already with just the limited stuff that we have. But that's what we're doing. And anyway, getting on to our new garbage truck, water went in the cab of it. We had to pull it out from under the shelter. We drained the hydraulic fluid in it. Drained the transmission twice. It had water in the motor had to be drained. The fuel had to be drained. We spent over $1,000 draining fluid out. one time, and you had to do it again. We've already flushed it twice. Had to be flushed twice. Right now, it's running, thank the Lord. The residential garbage truck, it was flooded. Water's in the cab. It had, all that had to be done to it, same thing. Luckily, it's running. Our bucket truck that we bought 2-3 years ago, $120,000 bucket truck, it will not do anything. It's going to have to be hauled away with a record, the Columbia, to be worked on. It's got electronic malfunction in it. It won't
How
even,
much of a warranty do we have with this stuff?
well, nothing for
Warranty,
flood.
warranty, not warranty.
Warranty will cover your flood.
Nothing.
Right.
Every piece of equipment we own's got water damage. Everything.
Okay, go ahead.
The tractors that cut beside the road, ditch bank cutter had that much water in the cab of the tractor. The ones on the back side, the water was over the hood of the tractor. The one that pulls the bush hogs behind it. We got the mosquito machine, the truck over there, the water was over the hood on it. It's mosquito machine's full of water. Stump grinder, trencher, I don't even know. I mean, I got this whole list right here. I can read every bit of it. And all this stuff, only a very few things have been touched right now, because it took 2 days to even get the garbage truck going. We've worked on 3 pieces of equipment in a week. When you're having to drain all that fluid out and it's running out like molasses, it just won't even come out. I mean, it's water and oil mixed.
So all these vehicles is located over there where you are,
Yes, ma'am.
and that's must be real low ground?
Evidently. Right, I'm just gonna read you this quick. I'm gonna read this quick.
I just want you to tell me, what is actually running? Just give me an understanding. You said the garbage truck's running? One
Yep,
of your knuckle booms is running?
got one running.
One running?
Yeah.
And what else you got?
I got 2 flatbeds running, 2 garbage trucks, a backhoe, and a bobcat I got rented.
And the rest of the equipment's gone.
Well,
It just sounds like to me,
it's not running right
that's
now.
a bit 1.5.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm just,
Easy.
I'm just gonna read this quick list right here when you can hear. We got a 2008 Jeep, won't run, a 2002 Ford tool body truck, a 2012 bucket truck, a 92 Ford pickup, a knuckle boom loader, an international tandem dump truck, and an international truck that pulls their excavator with, 4 Bobcats, a John Deere tractor and bush hog, Chevrolet mosquito machine truck, Kubota tractor with a bush hog, Kubota tractor with a side cutter, Vermeer trencher, International 270 tractor, Vermeer stump grinder, 2 golf carts that they read the water meters with, Chevrolet 3500 flatbed, the Vector truck that we clean storm drains and the sewage lines with, all the police gators that they got, there's 4 of those, they're damaged or who knows what, the lease machine, mud hogs, Crown Vics, and the 2 garbage trucks were damaged, but we got them back going.
How you read the water meter, right?
Well, we ain't started yet.
we won't get to that in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll jump over
It's
that.
hard, my golf cart. You sure none of this is covered?
That's my thing.
Some of it's covered.
Are you sure? Are you?
Yeah, some of this stuff is covered. I'm working with the insurance company
Yeah,
now.
okay.
It's just gonna take us a while.
But now remember, you know, we got coverage, full coverage on everything.
Not with us.
But, you know, just take the Vector truck. How old is it?
98.
All right, so that's 17 years.
Not gonna get much for
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I mean,
I think
that's a
probably
piece of
what we
machinery
ought to
that probably
do-
costs $200,000 that they may give us $40,000 for.
Well, that's right.
But your newest equipment, that's my concern. You know, if it's 4 or 5 years old, are we gonna get coverage to get some kind of recoupment back for that?
I don't know.
Well, the whole thing is how do we get back functioning? And I think probably what you ought to do is to come up with a list of things that we absolutely need to function in the next year. And have that list, and then we'll look at what that cost is and counter it with how much money we get back from our insurance company to see what kind of money we're looking at as far as cost to us.
I got one thing on my list right now.
Bucket truck.
The
Knuckle boom.
boom
Knuckle
truck.
boom.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Let me go back to the insurance. With a home, unless you got flood insurance, you aren't covered for water coming up through the floor. How about commercial? Only in the building, let's talk with the structure.
We do not have flood insurance that went into the building.
Okay, but we got flood insurance we have covers the equipment on the ground. I mean,
No, we don't have flood insurance at all.
but, so the equipment from an insurance standpoint is not covered. You're talking about through public assistance.
Hopefully. Now, what do you know about insurance?
No, and as far as I know, our insurance is covered with the water,
On the equipment.
on the equipment.
Yeah,
On
okay.
the
Nothing
vehicles.
in the building.
Okay, I understand that. That's what I was getting to, back to the equipment on the flood.
So I'm working with them, trying to get a list of getting them, you know, I've got to give them everything about the equipment. They're sending adjusters in to look at it.
Yeah.
Council on Aging, a guy flew in, he was here today. They're gonna fix that, the inside of the building.
The council on aging, if you don't know, we own that building.
Yeah.
And it was flooded.
And I've asked them to go to the shop because Dora told me there was mold already growing inside from the water. So they're supposed to be getting with me on that. And the insurance has approved the council on aging. And they sent a lease and, you know, an agreement in here for me to sign. I wouldn't sign it because the insurance is the one that's had them come in.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to pay me.
Well, what I'm trying to get is a plan, you know, you know, let's get that equipment that we think we will keep for a long time, and then think about, you know, I mean, that's what we're gonna do this year, and then maybe we have some equipment that we need, let's get a 2-year lease on it. And, you know, it'll be an additional cost, but lease that equipment until we want to buy it. I mean, we got to get back functioning, and part of the reason why the people that work for Dillon now, as opposed to 20 years ago, is the difference is we gave them equipment. We gave them good equipment to work with, and they could do their job, and they could feel satisfied with what they were doing. If we don't give them the equipment, we don't even need to have them on staff, because they're not going to be happy and they're not going to be able to get the job done. So we get, you know, I think what I would do is get that equipment and, you know, and figure out which equipment is the 10-year equipment. We need to go ahead and look at how much that we need to buy, and then that 3 to 5 year equipment, let's lease it maybe now, and with maybe coming back in a year or two and buying that equipment.
How much money do we have in the rainy day fund?
The general fund side, what, $1.4 million? You got that much? How much you
General
got?
fund, we got $1,048,000.
What else you need? You got the knuckle boom, you told us you need that.
That's what I need, I need
You gotta
y'all.
be replaced. What's your second but dire need? What's your next piece?
Well, I just had the knuckle boom on my mind so hard I hadn't even,
I mean, you can get a Bobcat somewhere else.
yeah, I can get back and rent that, you know. We can even lease tractors like Doc talked about when it comes
Oh,
tractor
that's
time or
right.
whatever.
So from your standpoint on what you need to get out there and get it done, right now, the one knuckle boom loader
Yes, sir.
is sufficient.
Yeah.
All right.
And I think we need to buy it. I don't care.
Yeah, no doubt. Like I say, in the long run, we're replacing one that's 14 years old.
I agree.
And that one will be a good spare
You
for
probably
later.
gonna get that, well, the 2012 will probably be replaced. You know, if, I mean, that, we're gonna get decent money back on that if we have.
I'm hoping they're gonna be able to get it fixed.
Yeah,
Really do.
so then you're gonna be back in a good place with that.
Well, let's get the approved party to go ahead and bid that out or whatever you do. I mean, obviously bid
Well,
it
I
out.
want to buy it on an emergency. And these trucks, most of the time they have to be built, but the guy, they happen to have one, it's a 2015, it's a demo, it's got like, I think he said 2,000 miles on it.
Well, let me say this, last time we jumped on a demo, we got
Oh,
a
yeah,
fire
this-
truck,
This ain't like
and
that,
we got a lemon,
yeah.
you know.
So you're okay with it?
Well, I'm in contact with him, but I just need y'all
Is
to,
that the one you quoted for $140,000?
Yeah.
The demo.
No. let me see. Y'all go ahead.
I know we banned Martin there. I'll back up.
You had that.
I thought.
I'm trying to remember what you told me last week when you called him. I thought it was about 140, but I could be wrong.
Okay, no, this one, it's a 2015 Ford F-750 with a Peterson body. That's like the ones we got loader. It's got 400 miles on it. It's $139,445 plus $300 tax.
140.
So
What's the new one cost?
that is a brand new one. It's got 400 miles on it.
Okay. I'd say get, that's
He
the
said-
16 then.
He said the demo Ford unit we quoted last week is gone, but his brother truck, which is brand new, never been demoed, is still available.
You better get them while you can get
Exactly.
them.
Well, he's done sold two this week. He said
I make a motion.
you don't buy them.
Well, Dr. Wallace, when you make a motion, are we gonna go through each department?
Yeah, and we
Do it all at one
need to,
time?
yeah, because you're gonna be in different funds, so let's do it at each
Each
department.
motion.
Yeah.
I second you.
All in favor?
Well, you need to make a motion,
All right, let me do this.
wait a second, you need to make a motion to suspend our purchasing policy at this point in time. Because our purchasing policy is,
You have to do it out of budget?
you have, well, no, not only that, but you've got to bid it out if it's over X number of dollars.
Okay.
And-
I make that motion.
I second you.
Second. All in favor, suspend the bidding process?
But the good thing about this person here is who we buy our equipment.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Now do your motion to buy the,
Have a motion to
buy
buy
the piece of
the
equipment.
2015 industrial
16.
loader.
16.
What is
What did you
2016?
say?
It's brand new.
Did you say 16 or 15?
I think it's 2015. See, these trucks have to be, the bodies have to be built on so the trucks sit around a little while.
Make a motion to purchase the 2015 knuckle boom loader.
Yeah.
No,
We got
you
that.
made
Yeah, I already
motion.
done it.
I second the
Let's
motion.
suspend it, yeah.
All right, next, Artie, we have, we were doing pretty good with sewer until our power went out. Then everybody has sewer problems when power goes out. But we did have opportunities during the middle of the week to rent some generators to help us at some of our lift stations. Just to let you know, we have 25
lift stations.
We have 25 lift stations for sewer throughout our system. Of those 25, 3 have generator power,
And one was underwater.
3 have generator power. One of them, which is one of our newest ones, Sunday morning when we got to it, the generator and the pump station was underwater. So that kind of messed up our generator there. So Artie's going to talk briefly about the issues we have in water and sewer and what we did and where we go.
One question, how long can the lift station stay down before they start backing up sewage?
With that kind of rain, it weren't long, it was running out.
Well, if you don't have I&I, or do you?
Oh, yeah, we
Oh,
do
yeah.
everywhere.
Maybe.
On a normal day, they'll usually last 3-4 hours, some of them.
But I mean, we just had some that just got power.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Last night.
I haven't heard of a soul that's had that issue the whole time. Now, I'm sure we have. but I
Well,
haven't-
our issue was more so coming out of manholes, coming out of the lift station, and at the plant when we lost the generator there, having issues there. But Artie can speak on all that.
The one that was underwater was the newest one on Lucius Road. It was had 44 inches of water in the building, soaked all our panels. And it got in the fuel tank at the lift station, or in the generator, so it wouldn't run. So we got it on bypass pump. Highway 301 by the Dillon C, it about washed away. A tree fell on it, broke the top end, knocked the power pole down. We got it on a bypass too. That's the only two we got bypassing right this minute. But all of them lost power.
When you say on bypass, what does that mean?
We have a rental pump, pumping the sewer out, pumping it into a bypass force main.
All you're doing is pumping it out of the lift station to the closest manhole where it would go anyway, when it pumps out of the
Oh,
lift station.
manhole is storm drain.
Manholes, you have
Both sewer and storm drain.
Really?
especially gravity lines.
I thought
See, all of them have,
that was a closed system, so it didn't go to stinking.
well, you have to have a way to clean and flush your lines.
Huh?
You have to have a way to clean and flush your line. You get it backed up, pop the manhole, flush your line.
At the plant, the generator that was there, it run good for about 2 days, 3 days at the most, and the voltage regulator went out on it. And we started losing power. We cut everything off but our influent pumps, and finally it went run that. But we got some bypass pumps to pump up the hill, and then Purdue loaned us a generator to run our plant. And that's what got us by there till the power come back on. got one generator that's down and they can't get parts for it. We don't know if the fix we got on this one's gonna work. The guy told me to try it when I got Purdue's unhooked.
Now, Randy Brown gave us and sent his people Tuesday night, Wednesday night, this is an 18-wheeler generator. He sent his people and they hooked it up for us.
What happened with the National Guard and the 3 generators they were going to assist us with?
Well, that's the ones we rented.
Okay, that's what we did rent.
Yeah, we rented 5 of them.
There was 5, we ended up hooking up 3 the next day, most of the power had come back on. And all of those has been returned now.
But we've got to work on the generator, one especially at the plant. How many generators are there?
There's 3 generators there. One of them, the changeover switch is bad. We got to get that one fixed. And we got one that we just can't get parts for anymore.
What size generators you talking?
That one's a 350 kW, the biggest one we got. It's huge.
350,000. Well, they were about $75,000 to $80,000.
I don't know. I haven't priced one yet.
Well, as far as what is your I mean, you got all kind of needs, but where is it that we got to go get your knuckle boom loader right now?
Right now, I got a sinkhole on Deerwood that's one of me more than anything. It's an 18-inch gravity line. That's my knuckle boom loader right now.
Well, I mean, do you need something else?
I'm gonna need some generators. I'm gonna need another portable generator too, because the one we got, he quit working on low oil pressure, but it's old. I don't even know what year it is.
All right. The sinkhole, once again, if you don't know, we have another sinkhole where we had one 3 years ago, back in July, 3 years ago. But it's not Purdue line. It's just a regular city line where it's an old clay pipe.
Probably put down in the 40s.
Storm drainage, not sewage.
That's sewer. We were hoping it was storm drainage because then it would be the states.
Yeah.
But no, that was sewer. So we got the same crowd that came in 3 years ago. We called them Friday.
Yeah.
So they came in actually Monday and put in bypass there, which we're operating under bypass pump now.
Yeah, but we're having some problems right now. I need to go to it.
So well, you can go.
Thank you.
If that's all you got,
That's all I got.
information-wise, right?
Does the council have to make a motion?
On that note, we're handling that now, and because that was an emergency that we brought this vendor in last week or first of this week to start working on that one. To go ahead and get that fixed. But Purdue, Randy Brown and Purdue have been very gracious and helping us. Now, I understand it's too cold. He had to get back operational, and he knew the only way was, and we accepted. I had no problem.
Yeah, but he called me. I've never talked with Randy Brown so much.
Me either.
You know, and it wasn't asking stuff.
No,
it was
no,
giving
he
stuff.
was giving.
It was giving.
No,
stuff. I got chickens. I got eggs. What do you need? He was cooking.
Purdue was good to the community.
Get water, ice.
Brought in 2 18-wheeler loads of ice that was given out at the wellness center. He sent an 18-wheeler to Lakeview. I couldn't tell you how many pounds of chicken that first day.
Keith
Cooked we cooked about 500 pieces the first day, and about the same thing the second day. We had 4 grills going.
So I mean, it's awesome. Purdue was good. Not saying other people wasn't, but he was absolutely. From the police department standpoint, how many vehicles did you lose or got damaged in the storm?
We had 5 police cars. We had our Humvee, which we actually used the Humvee to rescue a bunch of people that were stuck in was Cannon Court and Long Branch, and finally it was drowned. And we didn't even, I know Bert has so many problems, we didn't even carry it to the city shop. One of the officers, he took the glow plugs out and he turned it over and got the water out of the motor, and he changed oil 3 times and it's running again, so that's. We had, at the shop, we had 3 Kawasaki Tyrex, it was side by side. And then we had 2 Kawasaki 550 mules, and all those were brown.
But all your police cars are in good shape?
The 5 police cars, we haven't, there was water up to the, halfway up the glass, so.
There's so much water, it pushed the trunk out.
But all your police officers who take the vehicles home, they ended up being all right, and they didn't lose the vehicle.
We had one. Ronald's was.
That's right. We did
Had
have one,
Ronald.
and
And that was because he was working that night.
Were they new cars or these?
they were all Crown Vics, so they were
They're at least,
all at the shop.
Ronald was the newest one, but
Yeah, I think it was, the newest one was 2012, I think. But still, you know, right now, we're down.
They were running.
We're down 3 police officers, and those were cars that were going to the police officers that we were hiring.
yeah.
So,
But every one of your police officers has the vehicle to drive.
At this point, yes. Right now, like I said, we had 2 or 3, and I got a picture that David took during the storm. So, down at the shop where the police cars are parked across the street where we had the other lot. And like I said, the blue lights were on. There was so much water, it tripped everything. Blue lights were on that.
Now, that
So
could
what's a police car? I mean, what do you need to function today?
I don't want, Bert's got the big major problems. The one major problem that we had, and we knew it was a problem, was communication. We thought we had it fixed. We thought we could switch to a talk around channel. It's a car-to-car channel, and Central will be able to communicate with us. But we had problems. We finally took extension cords and dropped them off to the 3rd floor and ran a generator out here to power the antenna. So, you know, the generator in this building was taken out several years
whenever
ago.
he did the roof.
Whenever it messed up, they just took it out, so there was no backup power here.
So those 5 cars probably destroyed. They were that
so.
big.
But don't you think, I'm not making a suggestion for you, David, but do you think we need to go ahead and be making plans to purchase a couple new vehicles while we're talking now?
Well, absolutely.
I mean,
I mean,
You got
Somebody go
3
out.
new policemen coming?
well, if we can hire.
Oh, you haven't hired them yet?
We have not hired. We have, before the storm, we had just started the hiring process, and we had just sat down with the community team and the officer team, the hiring team, to try and locate the potential applicants. And the hurricane kind of put that on standby.
What's in your drug funds here?
Approximately 200,000.
Good shape with that. I mean,
I think we need to purchase a couple for them.
Have we got money yet on, we'll come back on gov deals, because we just sold some stuff
About 36,000.
so far. Is that part of that 200?
When does that include the cars we've ordered? Because we,
No. We're not,
It's about
that's got to
100,000.
come out of there because it's not showing out there.
I think it's about
About 100,000 because you
Coming to
ordered
us.
3, right?
No,
Or 2.
what we have already ordered, haven't we got yet?
Right.
ordered to replace some cars that have died on us.
How many?
Not prior to the storm.
What
How
about the
many
state?
will they?
That's probably all the money. What we got in the state fund?
That'll have to be deducted out of that.
What we got in the state fund?
That's what I'm talking to state.
State funds.
That's where the money, that's where the cars are
We
coming
have
out
very
of.
little in the federal fund.
What's in
The
the
federal
federal?
about 162.
So we got about 362,000 in the drug fund.
Yeah,
Is
I
that,
don't think there's that.
am I,
Huh?
I don't think there's that.
Why'd you buy something else out of there?
would you buy something else?
Why not? So, yeah, because you know you just got some.
while they talking about
Yeah.
that, if you could mention the people putting stuff out by the side of the road, do not mix household trash with the limbs and debris like that.
We're talking about
If you could put that in the paper, please.
let's just leave it there, Lauren.
My
Yeah,
feeling
but that makes sense if we hauling it to a special place at the landfill, they may grind that stuff or whatever.
My feeling about using that money is we don't need to get used to regular budgeted depreciated equipment. We don't need to use that to fund our budget. But in a situation like this is exactly what you use it for, is to try to get you back on your feet. I mean, we don't depend on that money for anything, correct?
Well, over the years, that's what we bought police vehicles from day one. Tax dollars haven't paid for city police cars
All right.
since
So you don't have an
2000.
idea what's in that combined fund?
About 260,
The
we'd say.
state and the
The
DEA.
state and the DEA, because we're gonna deduct almost 90,000 he's done order.
So that 260 is after the 3 cars you've ordered?
Yeah,
What's
Okay.
left is 260.
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I mean, that's doing good shape.
between both of them.
So when you say order, you're waiting on the vehicles to get.
Waiting
to-
on the vehicles to get right.
And it takes,
And that's part of the 5 that you lost, the 3 that you ordered. Those are the ones that
That
were
won't
scheduled to
count
come
then.
back
That
anyway.
That was cars that needed to come offline.
Okay.
And we have cars that are in poor shape that need to come off the line.
That wasn't part of the 5.
That was not part of that.
So if we got 3, would that be enough to get us
won't get
where we need to be? Say you're gonna try to hire 3, correct?
Correct.
If we had 3, would that get us back where we need to be?
Probably so.
And what do they run, about 35,000?
35,000 completely outfitted, I would say.
I'd say let's do that.
I'll make the motion.
I say.
Favor? Opposed?
So basically, we're looking at spending about 100 to 110,000 of that drug money, correct?
Yes.
anything else, talk about what y'all did from the time the storm started to, I guess, how many, you got, what kind of hours?
I don't know.
We don't need,
Okay, all right.
We know what he went through.
What about you, Keith?
One thing I messed up with my truck and some papers and walkie-talkies. I had about 6 inches of water in the truck and the transmission's skipping real bad and it's knocking. But I had about 6 to 8 inches of water. I've got it dried out every day and Febreze and everything else, but it is running. But the engine's knocking and the transmission's skipping when you draw. But I was in,
all that stuff.
well, I had water coming out of the hood of the truck. I mean, we just had to go. I mean, we got back to the fire department and let it run about. We let it run about 3 hours before it even go. It wouldn't even move and dry when I got back to the station. I just let it run for like 36 hours. It was soaked with water. Put the heat on and stuff. But I mean, it did go and through the storm, so it did what it needed to do. But I had about 6 inches of water inside of it.
You haven't took it to the shop yet. We just ain't had time to mess with it.
No, that's what I'm saying. They've been stretched, but the engine's knocking, transmission's skipping as you're driving, and like I say, I've Febreze it and vacuumed it out every day since it's happened. But
We can't you just outsource that, who knows what we're doing? Go ahead, before you admit messed up works, go ahead, go wait in the shop, get somebody.
Yeah, we could.
Just go ahead and do it.
We could, if we find somebody that's got space, yeah. We'll talk about that one tomorrow, if you don't mind.
other than that, just some pagers and walkies, but I got them drying them out, so I'll know more Wednesday night about which ones went back to work and which ones didn't. That's all the damage we had with the fire department.
Ms. Janet, how about yourself?
Well, Janet had power through the whole storm.
Her big boat.
You can tell people the power around here. Somebody came by my house and they said, you have power, and I said, I want you to know that the mayor and the oldest councilman on council, or the ones that's been here the longest, are the last ones to get it.
And I was right with you.
And you were right with me, the city manager was right with me.
Said the rich people had power.
Yeah.
And the poor people had power.
Miss Cotton didn't lose power long.
Like to go me.
This side over here, y'all
That power froze.
got power first, didn't you? So,
Well, let me
I
add
was
one other
Thursday
thing.
night, real happy about it.
Nobody's gone through more in this room, I don't think, than the city manager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lynn's had 2 trees down, he's had half his house flooded, he's living in Bennettsville, and I went to his house yesterday, I was having a look, and disaster. And I've been busy, he's 10 times busier than me, so.
We have to read more.
I've worried about him a little bit. I have. It takes a supernatural person not to be stressed to the point that.
But I'm gonna tell you something.
This may be.
He's stressed, he just not sure.
I know he's short. I know he is.
Kurt told you the other day, he didn't know where to start. I didn't know what to do. Because I had this or my family, and then I finally got Lisa to Bennettsville, and my daughter and her child to Bennettsville, staying with family members. So that's been a help, not having to worry about them. But water meter reading, we should be scheduled a reading right now.
Yeah, we should do reading.
What we're gonna do, Janet suggested, and I don't have a problem doing with it, people are gonna probably complain to some degree. A lot of our water meters are under debris. When I say debris, trees and things of that nature. We're just gonna estimate this month and go from there. And that's just based on the past 12 months history at each customer, and it'll be an estimate. She just punches it into the computer. It takes the last 12 readings and it estimates what your average is. So that's what we're going to do this time. Hopefully next month we'll have it a little bit better where we can get out and actually read some of these meters.
It's not like electricity, I mean, water's gonna be pretty regular.
Yeah, you're pretty much on an even keel. You may go up a little
I mean,
bit.
some
or down.
people have that kind of bill in their electricity.
Yeah.
They
I do that.
Yeah.
I do that with
So it's
electric and gas. It's
easier
estimated
to
each month. But that's where we are. At our next meeting in November, we'll brief you some more and then get back to our regular business. But yeah, we are, and there's going to be things that we're going to ignore that we normally are doing, especially from Burke's side, because our first priority is cleaning up. Because as people see us cleaning up, they feel better about themselves. And we want to get pardon? We want to get our streets and neighborhoods clean as possible. Because here in the next month or so, leaves are going to be down, and that's a chore in itself. And so we're trying to do as quickly as possible and as safe as possible.
Can I mention on donations? Now, the First Baptist Church has a hurricane relief fund. We get a fund up there. I'm getting asked that a lot. Where can I send a check?
What do y'all want to do?
Like, United Way maybe, or your local church, I'm sure is doing it, but I need to tell them something. Right now I'm telling them my church.
Well, we don't want money funneled here.
Okay.
We don't want it coming to the city.
I know, it's just too much.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
I'll get with the United Way and see how we can do more on that. I'm getting a lot of in town, out of town, mostly out of town. We have all these resources or whatever, but we want to get to y'all. Y'all tell us what you need out in the community, because I really don't know. I need to tell them something.
That's why.
If you have a need that you see, wow, we need this more than anything else, then I can tell them this is what we need.
Well, I'll tell you probably what you need are people that put up sheetrock, tear out, put up sheetrock.
You better watch that too.
Well,
And then people need to don't be on their toes for scammers.
yeah.
Because this is a big time for scamming, and they need to check. The best thing to do is contact code enforcement, one, to see if they got a business license. Just because they have a business license doesn't mean they're reputable, but at the same time, at least we know who they are.
Yeah.
You think you could run that in the paper too, man?
That's a big thing. And if they have a problem, call code enforcement or 911 to ask for a police officer to come by if they feel like something's not right. Because the people will be taken advantage of during this time, without a doubt.
And also, we're not doing recycling this week. We didn't do it last week or this week. We having to use our resources in different spots this week. We should resume a complete schedule next week.
Can I ask two things, Todd? I won't take long. The county, you said, Are they charged us for the tonnage that we're
No.
taking out there?
No.
They waived that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Landfill tonnage for what we're picking up debris, county has waived, that's their normal thing after a storm.
And the curfew.
No curfew.
I talked to you about the curfew when we did have a curfew, and I don't know, emergency preparedness, the county, does the county supersede the city?
I assume the county's gonna do it for the county, would include the city. That's the way I called
Well,
it, when the county did it.
I think, and David, the sheriff's curfew was in for unincorporated areas, am I correct?
Right.
And then each town kind of went along with what they were doing. But as I explained to them, I had met so much in my life, it seems like, that I have in the last 7 days at 7:30 in the morning. But as I told the sheriff, was that we were going to get out of it because we started getting power back. And we were being inundated with people from North Carolina who were having issues, and been fortunate enough that ours wasn't as bad as theirs has been. But they were trying to get somewhere to get ice, fuel, and food. And a lot of our stuff, especially on Radford Boulevard at that time, had power. And, we needed not only to help them, but help our own people to get resources. And as long as the businesses wanted to be open, we felt like, or I felt like, that we didn't need a curfew on those days. That's when we stopped Wednesday night. There was still some confusion there because I went to Walgreens just as you did at 5 to 6 to pick up some medication for my wife, and they said, we're closing. Why? There's a curfew. There's not one in the city, but there's one here, here, and here. And they want our employees to get home before the curfew because they may live in the county somewhere. So that was kind of unique, but at the same time, people got to realize also is when you have a curfew, it doesn't mean that it's really there for people to stay off the street. It's there if you don't need to be on the street, you don't be there. Because still you had industries that were open, or businesses that were open, that people needed to go to work. I mean, just like you would have to go to work. If you work third shift over in Sherrod, you would have to go to work if that's where you're supposed to be with a curfew. That would be martial law, the other one. And we didn't have that. We had a curfew, meaning you're not supposed to be on the street. If you have nothing to do, you're not supposed to be on the street.
What determined me calling that curfew was it the lights and there was no power on Main Street. If there weren't, then it was a good need.
Well, I mean, it was a good thing because we had cables and especially at night, if they knew power, people
Red lights,
driving around.
That's what that was.
Trees down.
Yeah, trees,
And
power
red lights.
lines,
Accident waiting to happen.
accident waiting to happen.
And one of the issues we had was, and I don't know if it was really an issue, but I don't think there is an ordinance for a curfew.
I don't think so.
And for future, I don't know if that's a possibility of maybe some ordinance too. So we'll have
Something in
something
place.
that we can actually enforce the
Set our teeth
ordinance.
in.
Well, so it's been a learning thing, if nothing else too, so we're
Are you
learning.
gonna charge Jack to do
Yeah.
something about that?
I'll get him to look at that and see what other communities also have, so. But just to tell you, I don't think any of us in this room had any idea of the magnitude of what this storm was gonna be. These folks can tell you from Monday prior to the storm, we met each day to talk about preparedness, what do we need to fix, make sure where we have water standing the most, let's address that. Let's make sure our generators are working. Let's make sure all our vehicles are fueled on a particular day before, we thought we'd lose power. But we never in our imagination thought we'd get the rain that we got. And then on the same side of that, my mother and father-in-law live in Beaufort. They hightailed it to the mountains to get out of it. They go back to their home Tuesday of last week, not a tree down in their yard, and power was on. And they were right there on it, so it's weird. Absolutely.
Well, the front end of the storm went back.
No.
It was the back end.
It was the back end,
Yeah.
and every tree that come down in my yard wasn't due to wind. It was due to water.
Well, the wind.
The wind came in the
When it
end.
was wet.
But mine came down before the wind.
Really?
Yeah, it never got windy until David come and helped me get my wife and kids out of my house and took us to the wellness center. Well, I know it's high ground, there wasn't water there.
You know, the next day, the ditches were dry on 34. And then next morning, Sunday morning, there weren't a drop of water on 301 in front of the Herald office.
Yeah, I knew that. Good figure.
Hey, if anybody asks about anything, fire department, National Guard brought 144 cases of water there this afternoon. That's all we got. We don't have any rations or anything. A lot of people's come there looking for that, or where that got out, but we do have 144 cases of water. How much of us left, but they brought this afternoon to give out to the public. That's all we got up there. Actually had 288, but 144 on the postcode East Dillon Baptist Church. So I came up here, they ain't came and got them yet. I know we got 2 pallets, and they were 72 cases to a pallet.
Well, there's no more food distribution from MREs or anything like that from here on out in the city. I think they're doing some things on the outskirts, but I think that's going to end either tomorrow or Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. So,
Okay, we have anything else?
no, sir, that's all I have.
I make the motion, we adjourn.
All in favor?